This is a 10-minute brief, and what you're about to hear might change how you see the anatomy of a modern mass attack. A Sunday morning in Grand Blanc, Michigan, a place of worship filled with hundreds of people. At 10:25 a.m., a four-door pickup truck, flying two American flags, wasn't looking for a parking space. It was used as a battering ram, smashing through the church's front doors. The driver, 40-year-old Thomas Jacob Sanford, emerged with an assault rifle. He opened fire on the congregation. Then, he set the church on fire. This was not a single act of violence, but a multi-phase assault, vehicular ramming, a mass shooting, and arson, all deployed in a devastating sequence. A sanctuary became a kill box in seconds. The response was swift and heroic. Police were on the scene in under 30 seconds. But inside, the true horror unfolded as Chief William Rennie reported. Congregants used their own bodies to shield children, moving them to safety while the gunman fired. These acts of incredible courage happened amidst the chaos. Just 8 minutes after the first 911 call, officers confronted Sanford in the church parking lot. In an exchange of gunfire, the suspect was neutralized. But the threat was not over. The fire, deliberately set with an accelerant like gasoline, was already raging. Subscribe to the 10-minute brief and never look at war the same way again. So, who was the man behind this attack? Thomas Jacob Sanford, a 40-year-old from the nearby city of Burton, was a Marine Corps veteran. He served from 2004 to 2008 as a sergeant and an automotive mechanic deployed to Iraq during Operation Iraqi Freedom. To his neighbors, he was the guy who would plow driveways for free in the winter. To former acquaintances, he was an avid hunter and a typical country kid. He was a married father, a man who had previously spoken publicly about the challenges of caring for a son with a rare genetic disorder. The investigation now centers on a central, haunting question: what caused this veteran, this father, this neighbor to snap? The FBI, now leading the investigation, has dedicated 100 agents to finding that answer, searching his home and digital life for a motive. The tactical complexity of this attack is what sets it apart. This was a hybrid assault. Authorities confirmed the discovery of suspected explosive devices at the scene, though it's unclear if they were activated. The use of a vehicle, a high-capacity rifle, fire as a weapon, and potential IEDs points to a disturbing level of planning. It mirrors the multimodal tactics seen in terrorist playbooks, designed to overwhelm, trap, and inflict maximum casualties. The church was not just shot up, it was burned, leaving the structure a total loss and the grim recovery of victims ongoing. This attack in Michigan is not an isolated incident. It's part of a dangerous pattern. Just hours earlier, another Marine veteran of Iraq was involved in a deadly shooting at a bar in North Carolina. And only a month ago, two children were killed in a shooting during Mass at a church in Minneapolis. From synagogues to mosques to churches, places of worship are increasingly on the front lines. This represents a new, terrifying front in domestic conflict where ideology, personal crisis, or hatred leads to the desecration of the very spaces meant to be sanctuaries. The investigation continues through the night. The full death toll may still rise as crews sift through the burned-out shell of the church. The resilience of this community is being tested in fire and blood. The strategic implications are clear. The battlefields are here. The targets are our most sacred and communal spaces. The question we are left with is not just who, but how. How do we defend against an enemy who fights with a truck, a rifle, and a can of gasoline? Thanks for watching the 10-minute brief, where history isn't just told, it's felt.